Hi, Kat here with The Power of You. I realized that in all of my previous videos, I did not have picture, only sound. Now I think I figured it out. So I talked a lot about Psych-K in my previous videos. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go back, watch the other videos. It is one of the tools that I use to help me taper off of my medication, as well as heal or transform all of the things that landed me on the medication in the first place. So today I want to talk about Psych-K, all capital letters, PSYCH-K. It's an abbreviated form that stands for psychological kinesiology. So if you listened to my other videos and did a little bit of research on Psych-K, you probably noticed that there weren't any videos that showed you exactly how Psych-K is done or exactly maybe how it works. And there's a reason for that. So Rob Williams, who is the originator of Psych-K, when I say originator, he did not develop it himself. It came to him after kind of throwing his hands up in the air as a psychotherapist in frustration. At one point, he was working with his clients, and while they saw some improvement, it wasn't really what he was hoping for as a therapist. So that was part of it. Another part of it was that he just was frustrated with what he was doing at the time, which is a whole other kind of story. So at some point, he started to receive the Psych-K protocol in a download, kind of, for lack of a better word, a download process. So this isn't something that he created himself. It was given to him. And he has made the commitment to honor and protect and keep sacred this particular modality, for lack of a better word. And so part of that is making sure that everyone that knows how to facilitate this process with themselves and others is properly trained so that you understand everything that goes into and all of the wisdom and information that stands behind the actual modality itself. So if you were looking for more specific information or thinking that you could just figure it out for yourself, you will need to attend some type of a workshop in an effort to preserve and keep pure the modality, which is what makes it so effective, what helps make it so effective. So without seeing how it's actually done, I would like to talk to you about how it works and why it's just so incredible. So Psych-K is not something that is done on you or to you. It is done with you, with a facilitator. And so as a facilitator and facilitating with myself, I am simply using this tool with myself or facilitating with others to unlock my own, and you unlock your own inner wisdom and healing and transformation abilities. So it is a key, if you will, to unlock your own power. That is why it is not done to you or on you. You are the power. If you're noticing a theme here in my videos and in my work, it's all about us recognizing, knowing, and stepping into claiming and using our own power and not giving it away to anyone or anything outside of ourselves. Okay, so it's a key to unlock your own power. And what is this power? It's the power of transformation. And it's the power to transform our perception of events that happened in our lives. So, to quote the late, great Dr. Wayne Dyer, he says, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. And that's one of the capabilities of PSYCH-K. Another capability of PSYCH-K is it's a high-speed change process to change your subconscious limiting and disempowering beliefs. Generally, I think I mentioned this before, 2 to 5 minutes on average to change a limiting and disempowering belief that's held in the subconscious mind. So that's another aspect. And I know I talked about in my previous videos that I was learning about, and I now know about the power of the mind and the mind-body connection. So when you are able to program your subconscious mind, which then translates into your physiology, according to the work of Dr. Bruce Lipton in epigenetics, it translates and transforms your physiology as well as your thoughts and your beliefs. And when you can get all of these things on board, your physiology, your subconscious mind, your thoughts, and your beliefs, you create the potential for a new reality to be created, to start experiencing a new reality. So I'm going to tie all of this together. So if you've got the limiting belief that I'm never going to get off this medication, that's a limiting belief. Getting off this medication, tapering off this medication is going to take a really long time, and I'm going to be really, really sick. There's 2 limiting beliefs right there. And you may say, oh, but that's what I am experiencing. I am already experiencing that. Okay, so this is where I was talking about how our previous shit can really trigger what we're currently going through as we're tapering our medications. So where else in your life currently and previously did you experience disempowerment? Discouragement. Where were you discouraged? Where were you disempowered? Where was your power taken away in the past? Where did you give your power away in the past? What experiences have you had in your life that are all wrapped up in the fear and the anxiety and everything that you're currently experiencing while tapering the medication? One of the things that was really powerful for me when I was trying to figure out, can my beliefs really change my physiological response? Meaning, if I believe that these medications are going to be super easy to taper off of, that my body knows exactly what to do to release the medication and still be perfectly healthy and well without any reactions, if I believe that, is that really going to manifest in my body and in my reality, if those are my beliefs using the PSYCH-K process? And so I did some research on this, and there is a particular religious group, I believe mostly in the southern states in the United States, and they actually handle venomous snakes. And their belief is that if their faith is strong enough, they can be bitten by these highly venomous snakes and live, because their faith in God is strong enough to overpower venom that would normally kill someone else. And I thought, that's kind of what's happening. I mean, I'm putting, venom is a strong word. At that time, it felt like venom. And I'm sure to some of you, it feels like poison and venom, but I have a different perspective on that now. So if I'm putting this, in this case, a chemical into my body, and I have the belief that I can put this in my body and taper off fairly quickly without any reactions or withdrawal symptoms, could that really be my reality? And I thought, yeah, I believe that that's totally possible. And so I balanced with myself around these goals of having the belief that even though I'm putting this chemical in my body, and even though I'm taking it away slowly, that I won't feel it. It'll be, just as I said in my previous videos, as if I'm not tapering anything at all. If I believe that that's what is fact and truth, then according to the universal law of attraction and epigenetics with, part of the work was done by Dr. Bruce Lipton, and that really could possibly be my reality. Now, I didn't know for sure until I actually started cutting the medication again, but I did believe and I did have faith. Again, I used PSYCH-K to have the belief that I believe that it's possible to put this chemical in my body and slowly take it away and not have any reactions. Then I had the good fortune to actually take a workshop under Dr. Bruce Lipton as part of my PSYCH-K workshop experience. And I actually spoke with him after one of the days of his teaching, and I told him what I was doing. I said, I'm tapering a benzodiazepine and I'm not experiencing anything. It's just as I had done a PSYCH-K balance for, and everything that I believed that I could consciously create and manifest through the universal laws. And I was sharing with him this experience and telling him how much I appreciated all of his work and his knowledge and wisdom. And he said to me, do you believe that your body knows how to create everything that you need to have the experience that you're having? And I thought, I never really thought about it from the biological standpoint before, because this isn't anything that's ever talked about in the groups and the forums. It's another perspective, a biological perspective that is not talked about. And so it was, news to me. And I thought, wow, that is amazing. I just, in my limited perception and perspective, I didn't even think about it that way, because yes, we can say our, GABA receptors are downregulated during the, because we've been on benzodiazepines, but just because they're downregulated doesn't mean that our system doesn't know how to create an environment where that doesn't matter. Think about that for a minute. So, yes, PSYCH-K is a very powerful tool. It allows us to unlock our own power to transform our lives, change our limiting beliefs, shift our perspectives about the way that we are viewing things. And if it is used for a really traumatic or troubling event, it is, I like to use the analogy, it's kind of like a bomb that's been diffused. So it won't erase the memory. It won't take away the experience, but you will come to a place of peace and non-attachment, and it will be a very neutral thing when and if you even think about it again. And when that happens, something else that you're currently experiencing or will experience in the future that would have poked at and triggered the response from that event, from that stored memory, stored all the way down to the subconscious level, it's transformed. And so it can't be poked at. And let's say you are having an experience where it normally would have been poked at. If it is poked at, you won't even notice it. It won't even be recognized. The poking will not be recognized, other than for you to notice on a conscious level, hey, that normally would have triggered me in the past, or that normally would have poked at me, or would have hooked me in some way, or grabbed me in some way. And then that will also be confirmation to your conscious mind that something is different. Even if you can't explain it, something is different. So those are some of the beautiful aspects of Psych-K. I also want to talk about the spiritual aspect of Psych-K, because Psych-K is really a spiritual process with psychological and physical benefits. And it is the number one reason why I chose it over the hypnotherapy that I initially or originally was researching, that I talked about in my early videos, where I said, ooh, if I can be hypnotized into not feeling the withdrawal effects as I tapered off the medication, when I learned that Psych-K was a spiritual process. So I'm going to talk about that a little bit now. When I say it's a spiritual process, I mean that when we are born whole, perfect, and complete. There's nothing missing. There's nothing wrong. We are completely perfect. It is our life experiences. It is our programming. It's our way that we perceive the things, our experiences that we have in our life as we're growing up, the things we're taught, the things that we're conditioned by in order to fit into society and our families and our religions and our schools and all of that, right? Our experiences with our family and our friends and our teachers and coworkers, and right, I mean, it goes on and on through life, right, until we aren't here anymore in this physical manifestation. So when I say it's a spiritual process, as we have these experiences and this programming and conditioning and events and things, it creates a filter that we're now looking through. And then we have another event or experience or conditioning or new beliefs that we're taking on, and it creates more filters. And so the Psych-K process transforms us in a way that starts to remove these filters that are causing us to think and believe and feel things about ourselves and our world and our reality and our relationships that aren't true, that aren't accurate, but we think they are and we believe they are because we're looking through all this filters of stuff, life, right? Life happening. And so as we strip away these layers and filters, it returns us back closer and closer in our mind and our perception, because it's never really been changed or altered. Our perfection and our divinity and our wholeness, completeness, and health in every aspect, mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually, we're able to see that we always were that. It's only these filters that caused us to believe something different than that. So that's the spiritual aspect of Psych-K. It allows us to see our divinity again, our perfection again, our wholeness again, by removing the filters that have been placed there or that we've accumulated in our life. So when we are able to strip away those filters and to really see ourselves as the powerful, divine, perfect, complete, whole beings that we are, imagine how you would now show up in your life. Imagine how the experience of tapering medication would be viewed, perceived, experienced in a completely different way, if you can. It might be unfathomable at this point for you. It was for me completely. But now I have a completely different perspective about the whole tapering process, about my experience, as I shared before, and about my life, because I continue to use this tool with myself every day, no matter what comes up, instead of letting more filters come in front of me, right? Filtering me from seeing myself and the vision of myself and others, right? And others in a different way. And I think I used the analogy too in a previous video where I had a suitcase where I was putting more things in it and packing more stuff, where I, it got to the point where I sat on the thing and I, metaphorically, I sat on the thing and I tried to zip that thing shut, and the whole thing just burst open during the tapering process. I mean, everything that I had packed in that suitcase just exploded everywhere. So now I'm very vigilant about not putting anything else in that suitcase, which another way to say is not letting any more filters, or as I discovered filters that I hadn't seen before, making sure I remove those right away. Whether it's a limiting belief, a perception or perspective I'm holding about another person or someone that I'm, in a relationship with, whether it's family or friends or my partner or right, anything, and interaction at the grocery store, it doesn't matter. I don't let anything be put into that suitcase, and I don't let any more filters be put in front of my eyes. So I hope that gives you a little bit of an idea of what Psych-K is about, how I used it, and what an amazing tool it is, and how it helped me in my tapering process with removing limiting beliefs. And we say, oh, but this is fact. This is fact. It's not fact. It's a perception, and there are perceptions and limiting beliefs that we're holding on to that's creating helping to create our reality. There's few things that go into creating our reality, but definitely our beliefs and our feelings and the perceptions and perspectives that we're holding is what is creating our reality. So if we are holding perceptions and perspectives and limiting beliefs that's creating our reality, it does look very, very real. And it does seem very, very real, because we can taste it and touch it and smell it and feel it, and right. But it can be changed. It can be shifted and transformed into a completely different experience and a completely different reality. And Psych-K is an incredible tool for doing that. I'll share more with you in my next video. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad I got the picture worked out. And I hope that you will continue to come back to get more information about my experience and any information that I can give to you that can help you with your experience. I'm going to start getting into the universal law, the law of attraction, and the ways that I used it and some of the teachers whose information that I employed during my coming off process, so that you can hopefully start to utilize some of this as well. And I'll start putting out some contact information as well. I'll probably put that in the description box below, so that if you want to just have a conversation with me over the phone, ask questions, see if I might be somebody that you would want to work with and to coach you and to facilitate the Psych-K process with you, you know how to get a hold of me and reach out to me, and we can have a discussion if it's something that you think might be helpful to you as well. Thank you for being here with me today. And I look forward to sharing more of my experience and the tools and the tips and the things that I used to taper myself off of medication in a way that was easy peasy, as if it was not even happening, which was a total 180 experience from my first attempt to try to get off the medication before I came to this work and these tools. All right. Talk to you later. Bye.